I just went through the most intense phase of burnout that I've ever been through in my life. And as hard as it was, I've come out on the other side excited, rejuvenated, turned around, and ready to go. And I want to share with you how that happened and share with you the tools that I used to do that, okay? Hi, my name's Tim Welch. This is my YouTube account, Selfless Awakening, where I like to ground all of this spiritual stuff, make it accessible, break it down. I'm very passionate about being of service to others, and this is one way that I get to do that. If you like the stuff I'm talking about, subscribe, click the little notification so you can stay up to date on my latest videos, okay? So here we go. I'm going to share how I used Wim Hof, Eckhart Tolle, A Course in Miracles, 12 Steps of Recovery, Byron, and Abraham Hicks to work through this phase of burnout. And I'm going to talk about that now, okay? So I have a business. I'm a vocal instructor. I have a vocal method I'm creating that I'm currently working on scaling and franchising. I have a certification program going on. I'm a dad. I've got a wonderful relationship with my girlfriend Jessie, and I have so many things going on. And including social media. I've got like 3 social media accounts I'm exploring and playing with, and I hit a wall. Boom. I stopped. I shut down. I wanted to get away. I wanted to drive away. I wanted out of this whole thing. I pushed to the point where I had to stop. I hurt my back in a weird way working out that I normally don't, and it was a big indication to me that it was time to stop and look and shift. And I want to show you how I did it and how these teachers helped me, okay? So the first teacher I'm going to talk about is Wim Hof. How did Wim Hof help me with my burnout? Well, I do the Wim Hof breathing every morning. And I have to say, one of the things with burnout and sadness and depression when they kick in is that physical element. And it can be so seductive. It's like that sadness, it just pulls you in. It wants to take you with it and pull you away. And there's a big part of that that's biological. And one of the amazing things about Wim Hof, and I just did the breathing, I did do some of the cold exposure too, but mostly the breathing, is no matter how sad you're feeling, by the time you're done with the breathing, your body won't be pulling you. Your mind still may be a little bit, but you'll feel this lightness inside of you instantly. So I did a lot of Wim Hof breathing. That was the first thing I did to start moving through and allowing this burnout sort of to be, was I just got my body to sort of detach from it a little bit, okay? Second thing I did was I used Eckhart Tolle. Eckhart Tolle, for me, is all about, he's about a lot of things, but one thing he's really, that he helped me with a great deal in my life was making peace with everything that's coming up in you. Making peace with physical pain, making peace with emotional pain, making peace with your thoughts, stepping out of your thoughts, being able to just allow whatever is to be. And so I did a lot of meditating in the time to just allow the voice in my head to do its thing. Voice in my head, I feel very at peace with my relationship with the voice in my head, in that I'm okay with where it goes. I'm able to guide it where I'd like it to go. I honor when it's got things to say, but I don't linger there too long, you know? And I can say that sitting down and taking time, I took off work. I really created time on my schedule after I felt this burnout so I could learn from it and see what there was to learn. And I sat and I allowed, and I spent a lot of time just being present to myself as the awareness around the thoughts so that I could hear what they had to say. And I sat and I listened and I wrote all of these thoughts out that I heard it saying, okay? But that, I'm going to talk about that later when I talk about 12 steps, okay? So with Eckhart Tolle, I learned how to just make peace with the emotion and not try to get away from it. With Wim Hof, I learned how to make my body not pull me into sadness. And I just was able to feel light and healthy in my body. And then Eckhart Tolle helped me allow just for all of the thoughts and the sadness and all of the emotion that was wrapped up in the burnout to be, okay? Next teacher I want to talk about is A Course in Miracles, or next teachings I want to talk about. A Course in Miracles is an incredible text that's a channeled text that has some of the most profound wisdom I've ever heard about how to live life and how to be free and how to exist in this world. And I have to say, there is something in A Course in Miracles that came up in my mind that really helped me make peace with this burnout, and it was this. In A Course in Miracles, it says, you need do nothing. You need do nothing. And there's lots of interpretations about what is meant by that in A Course in Miracles. A lot of times I think they mean it in that you need do nothing other than allow the universe or God, whatever you want to say, to do it for you. Which isn't a recipe for stopping paying your bills and, that kind of thing, and doing life things, taking showers and taking care of yourself. It's not that. It's more about allowing intuitive guidance and allowing life to flow organically without you pushing. That's at least how I'm taking it. Because I have a tendency to, take on all these projects and then push and try to keep them going because, I want to keep it going. It's important. I can't let it go. I got to hold on to everything and push and beat myself up. So this idea of I need do nothing, that I can stop. I can let projects go. There is no thing worth doing that compromises my peace and my state of being. And that awareness, that's huge. So A Course in Miracles, big help. Next teacher I want to talk about is Byron Katie. Byron Katie is a teacher who has come up with this process called the work, which the work has to do with questioning the truth of your beliefs, of your thoughts. So what I did by using her work was I wrote out all of the thoughts that I was holding on to about the things that the voice in my head were screaming at me that it hadn't been saying, and now it was like it opened this door. Oh yeah, you were doing this. You've been so busy, you haven't been able to do this. You've been so busy, you've been neglecting spending time with this person. You're like, the voice in my head went like, wah, and went off. And so what I did was I wrote down all of the thoughts that the voice in my head was saying. And then I did the work. I did the Byron Katie work, and I went through. I said, is that true? Am I actually doing that? Is that true? Some of the things were true. Some of them weren't true. And then I looked at the things that I wrote down that were true that I was doing, and I flipped them, and I started to play with them. I reframed them. I thought, well, what if that wasn't true? What if I looked at it this way? And I took all of those thoughts and I worked through them. And I really unraveled and looked at what was bothering me. What in my psyche, what was this flare-up all about? And I really looked at it, which I'm going to talk about my results of it after, okay? So I used Byron Katie to ask what was true. Then I went in and I did 12-step work. 12-step work is, that's the one sad thing about the 12-step work. I went through 12-step recovery, and the one sad thing about it is that people, either most people feel like they need to go through some drug addiction or some type of addictive situation, or know an addict to actually go through the 12 steps. And I would love, if one thing I could do in this world to be of service to everyone, is I would love for everyone to feel open to do the 12 steps, to do these 12 steps, and even of recovery, the 12 steps of enlightenment, basically, to walk through and really figure out truth. Because so much of the 12 steps, it's about so many things, but one of the biggest things it's about understanding how fear is working in your life and how to relieve yourself of it, basically. So whenever I'm doing self-work, whenever I'm doing internal work, I'm always looking for how is fear interacting with whatever's bothering me, with whatever's coming up, So I did a lot of work on looking at all of these thoughts that I found, all of the voice in the head was going off with all of these reasons why I'm overwhelmed. I took that list and I worked through it, and I figured out how they were routed in fear, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, okay? And I really looked at that and I learned from that. And then, after I did all of this work with the Wim Hof breathing, and I got my body feeling good, I did a lot of allowance meditation, the Eckhart Tolle work. I did the you need do nothing, and I relaxed. I canceled some of my schedule so that I could take time to focus. I looked at the truth. I wrote out the things that were bothering me. I figured out how they were rooted in fear. And then the last thing I did was I stopped thinking about it. I focused on other stuff. This is where Abraham Hicks comes in. Abraham Hicks is all about, she's about a lot of things. She's about the law of manifesting, and but really it's all about focus with Abraham Hicks. It's all about you get what you focus on. Focus on beautiful things, focus on the horrible things you want. How long are you going to focus on the things that bother you? You know, it's like you have to really be mindful when you go into the darkness. You've got to get in and get out, because if you stay there too long, the laws of attraction start working and you start manifesting inside of the darkness. You know, you have to get out. And it's really hard sometimes when you're in burnout to want to even not be burnt out or want to get out. It's like the sadness is seductive. Depression is seductive. The darkness wants to pull you into this cocoon and suck you into the earth. You disappear sometimes, you know. If you've experienced it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And when you're in that state, the hardest thing to do can be to turn to the light and like go upward again, you know. But I know that. I've experienced it, and I could feel the pull of this, the weight of everything I'd created on myself, and the challenge of letting it go, because it's so, once you let that mind go and you're really looking at things, the mind wants to stay looking and stay digging and stay just in it, and you have to get out. You have to get out and you have to move on. And one of the ways I did that was after I did all this inventory work, after I wrote, after I really got into it, I asked the universe, I said, what can I learn from this? What changes can I make in my life to, you know, how can I move in a different direction? And a lot of beautiful stuff came up, a lot of beautiful stuff. I've realized a lot of patterns that I was acting out that I wasn't aware I was acting out. But I have to tell you, I consider myself pretty present. Like, I meditate, I'm aware of my thoughts a lot of the day. I ask myself what's bothering me. I look at my emotions. I write about them. And I have to say, I didn't see this one coming at all. This was some door to my psyche that hadn't been opened, and that I walked by and I looked, but I never opened it. And it's really such a beautiful thing to see. And I know, as painful as it was, it's so beautiful, because this was a part of my psyche, a part of my egoic structure that was really taking away some of the joy of my life experience. Keeping myself, even though I'm doing amazing things, even though my business is booming, even though everyone's healthy and happy and everything I do seems to grow and expand, I still felt like I couldn't, I felt like I had to do it all. Like, I was like, oh no, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do a post today, I have to do social media. No, you didn't meditate yet, you didn't do yoga yet, you got to work out. Now you've got 9 hours of clients today, then you got to go pick up your daughter. It's like, just keep going, you can do it, Tim, stay high vibrating. That's what I was doing, and it was working for a while. Then I hurt myself, and I went, and then I realized, oh my God, I've got all this stuff going on, how am I going to keep it going when I'm hurt? And so beautiful, because I realize now what I'm doing. I did this whole, do I have it here? Oh, I don't have it on my iPad. I did this whole mind map of my life, and I looked at all of my projects. And I paused a project that I've been working on that I didn't feel I was doing a good enough job with. The certification stuff for the vocal method I'm doing, I felt like I was kind of neglecting that a little bit. And so I put it on the back burner. And I put a couple other things on the back burner. And I raised my rates as an instructor, $30 more an hour. And I also am cutting back a day of client contact. So I have another day for development with a business. Like, these are beautiful changes that have come out of this burnout. And also, I wrote out this list of things that I'm passionate about. Like, I realized with all of this work that I had been, since I moved into this place and since the business had been expanding, I have been so focused on business expansion that basically the things that I've been looking at and been spending time doing have been self-improvement stuff and expanding my business, spending time with my daughter, spending time with my girlfriend. Those are the things I was doing. I was nothing for Tim's fun, projects, going out, being silly, like letting go, forgetting about life. Wasn't doing a lot of that stuff. And my psyche was screaming, you can't just work all the time. You can't just go, go, go. And also another big change that came of this was with my assistant, I realized that I was checking in with her so much during the day, like 20, 30 times every day, that I was always distracted by my phone. I was constantly checking in. And I talked with her. I said, I want to have check-in times, and I want to only check in at those times. So it was another huge change that I made. Also, I've started to delegate more, and instead of me trying to do everything, I have an incredible staff that works with me. I started sharing more of the tasks with them, and so that I can be free. And it's been an interesting thing because I haven't spent a lot of time thinking about what I love to do, like actually what I love to do with my time. And that's been one of the most beautiful parts of this, is giving myself permission to let go and to go hiking, to go skiing, to go build my weird little inventions I want to do. Like, I've got some kooky ideas that I want to do that I've been so focused on business I haven't been doing them. So I've been meditating and imagining new things, new places with no limits on it. Like, what do I want to do? What do I actually want to do with my life? And I'm so thankful for this. Like, experiencing this burnout thing that I experienced was, I feel emotional just thinking about it. Like, I feel so excited. I feel like whatever was building up has been released, and now there's something better. So my encouragement is do your own version of those things if you need to get through it. Like, whatever it is that is your psyche is saying, whatever you're doing to yourself, listen to your psyche, listen for the truth, and be willing to make changes, because these moments of great emotional pain are, I can't think of any one I've had that hasn't been an incredible turn into the light, an incredible turn into a new direction. It's just a matter of getting to that place and getting to the place where you can see it that way. And I was thankful to be able to see it from the beginning of the pain. But it's such a paradoxical experience, to experience the darkness and experience the light at the same time. But that's what happened. And now the darkness has passed through, and I'm just with this full-on light again. So, all right, I think I'm rambling now. But I wanted to share this with you. This was a very profound thing. And, there's some part of me that feels, as a coach and as a teacher, it's like, there's a little voice that's like, well, you're going to share about all this? But the truth is, this is about authenticity. And being a coach and being a teacher doesn't mean you don't go through the same shit everybody else does. Hopefully what it means is you are using the tools that you're talking about on yourself. And that's what I do. So, study these teachers, and whoever, be open to finding these tools. My encouragement would be to feel better, because they all work. So, all right, there's a long video. Sending you all so much love. I hope this helps. And stay tuned, subscribe if this resonates at all with you. I'll be doing, I do videos as much as I can, but I'm not going to force that either. I'm going to do videos when I feel like it. So there you go. All right. Have a great day.